who's here with me. I can't wait to see the first person that will be here. Hi, everybody. Hi there, Kennedy. Hello. Hi there. Hi, Mama. I see you. Hi, Bud Bells. How's everybody feeling today? How's it going at your ends? Hi, Olufemi. Hi. How are you today? I hope you're awesome and you're doing great. Hello, thank you. Keep it coming. You know what? I've been enjoying the past few. Hi, Riatex. My people are back in the house. Beautiful. Thank you so much. You know, it keeps me encouraged. It keeps me gingered when I see you guys are here, ready to, interact. It's amazing. Thank you so much. So I've been having a series of IG Live. Keep it coming. Bellafricana is going to be launching an amazing thing on the 11th of May. And so we've been having IG series towards that day. Today I am super excited because you're going to be hearing straight from the mouth of one of the amazing mentors that pushes Bellafricana, that nudges us, it's so amazing. Yesterday we spoke about how to leverage on your tribe for your business growth. And today we're going to be talking about how to leverage on mentorship. These things are so key for building a business, especially one that you want to succeed or one that you want to be sustainable, to grow sustainably. It takes a lot. It takes a whole village. I love to say that so much. I personally have a huge support system for different things that I do, from my personal growth to my business growth and everything. So today, just please quickly go and grab your popcorn. I can't be eating popcorn and talking. That's why I don't have it here. And grab your drinks. I have my drink right here. I love to take water a lot. As I wait for Mr. Lanre Adisa, who will be joining us shortly. You can't even afford to miss this. If you know entrepreneurs out there, you might want to tell them to join in, because people always have this question about mentorship, and mentorship, building relationship. No, having a mentor. People ask that question a lot. I have my water. Beautiful. Having a mentor, is it really worth it? Some people ask that question. How do I actually leverage on a mentor? Some people even think having a mentor means that the person has to be a celebrity. No, it's not about that at all. It's about the person being a thought leader in their field. It's about the person being an expert in their field. You don't even have to see them all over the place on Forbes, the magazine, on all of that for the person to qualify as your mentor. Based on your interest, based on what you do, it gives you that, it navigates you on the right mentors to pick. Some mentors are so busy, I tell you, but it now depends on the kind of relationship you have with that mentor. So how do we build that relationship? How do we even make that first approach? I'm going to be telling you about that today. Mr. Lanre Adisa and I are going to be telling you about that. He's going to be joining shortly. He's on standby right now. I fondly call him Bami. I have different types of Bami. This one's Bami Kekere, I have Bami Agba. Can a mentor be someone you don't actually relate with? Well, to be honest, sometimes it's more of a perception. Sometimes you can be following someone who's a thought leader, and you might not even see the person face to face, or the person doesn't even know, but what the person does inspires you from afar. But most times it becomes more valuable if you're actually able to interact with that person. Via virtual means, via Skype, So the person can actually be a mentor without them knowing. But it's now a one-way relationship. You're following what they do. No, today we're talking about mentorship. We're going to be talking about mentorship. So just give me 1 minute. Mr. Lanre Adisa is going to be joining us in a minute. I'm just chatting with him at the moment. He's about to join in. So keep your questions coming. I love it. I love it, me as extra. Keep it coming. Everybody else here, just be on standby. You still have time to quickly grab a drink. Okay? You still have time to grab a drink. We're going to be talking about mentor. So who's a mentor? Do you have a mentor? If you're listening to me right now, do you have a mentor? Can a mentor be a family member? That's a very good question. I actually believe, I believe so, because I personally, my mentors become my family. I won't lie to you. I build relationship with my mentors. Guess what? Mr. Lanre Adisa is with us. Yay! Pam, 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 pam. He's going to be joining in a minute. So just be on standby, okay? Hey, Bami, welcome.
Hello, Buki, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing today, sir?
Good,
How's it been? Yeah,
good.
looking fresher by the day. You needed this rest, too. This COVID-19
I'm
rest, you really
loving
needed
working
it.
from home, man. I don't think I'm going anywhere from here. I've not seen the mirror for a long time, and I like it.
You can't say that again. You know, it's been an amazing time. Thank you so much, sir, once again for joining us. For the benefits of everyone that is just joining in, my name is Buki Ashende, and I am the founder of Bellafricana. You know, I'm popularly known as the creative mother hen, and some call me the creative's best friend because of what we do at Bellafricana. So, as you know, we've created a community organization to empower and support creative businesses, creative entrepreneurs to thrive and build sustainable global businesses. So today, we've actually been having a series of IG Live towards the launch. We're having a party on the 11th of May to celebrate our anniversary. Bami, can you hear me clearly? Can everybody hear me clearly?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, excellent. You know, yesterday, yes, we spoke about leveraging on tribe yesterday, but today we will be talking about leveraging on mentorship for business growth. And I'm honored to have you with me today, Mr. Lanre Adisa, who I call Bami. You know, he's one of my mentors, and he's been a mentor since the inception of Bellafricana. I would gist you now about how we met. Bami, just give me a few minutes before I give you the floor.
Okay. No
I don't
problem.
know if you remember this picture. You remember this picture? So if you are here, let me just gist you about how I met Daddy. Well, I call him Daddy Adisa or Bami, but you might call him Mr. Lanre Adisa. But for the benefit of this IG live, I'm going to be calling him Bami. So I met Bami, I think it was like 5 years ago. You know, actually through his wife.
Yeah.
Almost 6 years ago, exactly, through his wife, Mami Adisa, who is the founder of Labule Restaurant. If you've never eaten from Labule, you better go and check on Instagram right now for labule.ng. So Labule was just about to open at that time. I think that was 2015-ish.
2014.
You know, and 2014, beautiful. I know that your memory is always on point. So, Bami, remember, we had a small shop. Bellafricana, I've been pushing Bellafricana for long ago. You know, I had a small shop where we were storing. It was like a store for Bellafricana members at the time, for people to be able to walk in and, you know, buy from them or see what they do. And just on Ogudu Road there, I just saw this beautiful building. I looked so African, and I was like, "Oh my God, who owns this restaurant? Whoever owns this restaurant, I must become friends with this person." So, you know, an idea just came to mind, and it was like, I think it was close to Independence Day then. I don't know if you remember, close to Independence Day.
Yep.
Yeah, so, you know, I sent in a proposal, you know, can we use the gazebo back then to have an exhibition? I shall package the long story short. Small, like that. From Mommy Adisa, I moved to Daddy Adisa, and together now they're both my mentors. So today I'm so privileged to have you today. That's Bami. I have picture, I have gallery over here.
That's interesting. Good,
So
good.
I've been working on how to make this IG live interactive as possible, so that it's not just us talking the whole time.
Yeah, that's really
So
good.
awesome. It's on iPhone. It's iPhone that is making this IG live currently, interactive. So I put the agenda here. Today we're just going to be going straight to our conversations. And this agenda, it has been helping me keep to time too. Because as you know, I can talk for Africa, so I can just keep having gist with my Bami, and I'll forget that 1 hour has gone by. So, Bami, if you could let's just start by getting to know you. I would have done the honors of introducing you, but I'd rather you do the honors.
Okay, first, thank you for having me on this live chat. I think it's a wonderful idea, and please keep it up.
Thank you.
My name is Lanre Adisa, as you already been told. I'm in advertising. I've done advertising since 1990. I mean, when I finished NYSC, and I've not done anything else apart from helping my wife to sell amala on the side. I don't. But seriously, I started out as a copywriter, training copywriter at MC and Sachi back then, and I've worked in one or two other agencies along the line, leading to 2008 when I started Noah's Communications. So I'd rather just say the details of where I've been.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, I was never one that thought anything seriously about entrepreneurship. I just wanted to end my career as a creative person, writing ads for advertising, for brands and stuff like that. And the most I wanted to do was maybe run an advertising school, as one of the things I'll do in my retirement years. But somehow I caught the bug of entrepreneurship sometime before my 40th birthday, and that led me to Noah's Ark as a young new generation agency. We create some kind of challenge to the industry, and we've done that for 12 years now, and it's been very exciting building brands for people. And I think the more exciting thing is the mention of Labule after building brands for people, that I could use all of that also to build a brand for myself, for my wife, as our business, and seeing that come to life with little or no advertising, so to say, because advertising takes money.
Yes, it does.
People like booking along the line. So that's been quite exciting for me. In a nutshell, that's what I've been doing. Beyond advertising, we've grown as a group. Also, we have an agency that's into PR called Integrated Indigo. We have a production company also that's into content and production, radio, TV content, called Underdog Productions. And we also have a second line agency, the Red Roof Company, which is more of a digital first agency. So that's how we've grown as a group, not that wide. So that's it in a nutshell.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah,
I like
this
conversation. You already know. Okay, so beautiful. Thank you so much for that introduction, Bami. Just before we really get into the main topic, which is how to leverage on mentorship for business growth, right? I'm just going to be asking you some questions. We'll make it as interactive as possible, especially coming from a mentor-mentee relationship that we've had over the years, over 6 years. So in your own understanding, who would you say a mentor is? Let's even just break it down for people that don't even know.
Okay, I mean, it's interesting that mentorship has become a big buzzword, of late, which is good. I mean, it's good for this generation in particular because, I mean, for people like us, yes, there were mentors, but we didn't really see them in that light. We saw them in the light of people we could look up to in one way or the other. We may not acknowledge the relationship as we do now. Which is also very good to, in terms of backtracking. A mentor is someone who will inspire you to achieve your goal. That mentor is not going to take over from you. So it assumes that you have something you're doing. It assumes that you have an idea of what you want to do. All the mentor does is help you, push you, as gently as possible, and sometimes as forcefully as possible when necessary, for you to do what you need to do to achieve that goal. Sometimes it might just be a statement, it might just be one thing, And you need people for different reasons. If I were to use myself as an example, I don't think I've had the advantage of acknowledging people formally to say, you are my mentor. But I've had so many mentors. Some of them are so indirect. Some of them I've never met, I will never meet. Some of them I look at from afar, even before the advent of social media and the internet, as it were. The people you probably read
That's
about in
correct.
your industry, legend copywriters and a couple of other people, and you look at their work, and their work inspires you, and you read more about them as a person, and those things help a great deal. So it doesn't necessarily require that I have to have physical contact for you to be my mentor. And
That
mentoring
answers
also
Mia's
has to
express
do,
question. I'm so
yes.
sorry to interrupt.
So,
Yes.
so
Someone asked that
sometimes,
question before we started. So you've just answered that question, sir.
okay,
Go ahead, sir.
okay. So, but like I said, the work of the mentor is to help you stay on your lane as much as possible, and to help you watch out for opportunities that you may miss out, and to help you also find within yourself a lot of things that you probably you never knew you could do, as it were. So, and it can cover different fields. You need mentors for different reasons. If I'm not so, tech savvy, for instance, I need to find somebody who knows. And it's not about age or experience. This person might be younger than me, probably work for only 1 year, or might not even be working for all I care. But he or she knows something I don't know. And my job is to see how I can get that person to help me achieve my objective.
That's correct. They're very profound. It's not about age. It's amazing. So that just takes me to the next question. You know how some people just assume, that mentors should be a sponsor, and it's not so. So can you just touch base on that? Let them just have a clearer understanding who a mentor is versus who a sponsor is. I mean, you've clearly broken down that a mentor is someone like, just basically like a tour guide, someone who's there to guide you and navigate you in the right direction. So what would you say the difference is between a mentor and a sponsor?
Well, I mean, there are two different things. I mean, truth be told. And the reality is that a mentor is perhaps even more invaluable, if you ask
That's
me,
right.
than sponsor, because he or she doesn't necessarily have any vested monetary interest, so to say, in what you're doing. But this person is interested in you becoming successful. The joy comes from you being able to fly,
That's right.
as it were. I'll give an example. When I was going to start my agency, I was considering, getting someone else to start the operation because of my job, and that I could join like 6 months later and all that. But guess what? One of the mentors that I went to see, because what I did was I had a book and I wrote down a couple of people I needed to talk to before venturing into this new thing. And one of the people I went to, perhaps it was the last person I saw, and he called me and said, and I told him my plan. I said, Aburo, if you really want to do this thing seriously, get out now and go do it. Now, to me, he was not giving me money. He was not sponsoring anything. But what he gave me was far more than money. And after that conversation, it was like some blinkers just came off my eyes and I saw things differently. And guess what? The gentleman I was going to get to go out and start the operation, as we speak, never left the organization where I was working. He grew cold feet after I started it. So, meaning that perhaps I would have ended up ruining my entire dream by, vesting all of that in one individual. And this mentor just said, if you really are serious about doing this as you sound, get out and go do it now.
Take the bold
That's
step.
what mentors do. A sponsor is a different thing entirely. A sponsor has vested interest monetarily, which is not a bad thing.
Yes.
And sometimes you can actually have a combination of both, right?
That's true.
For instance, I mean, okay, one key mentor that I worked with when I was going to start the agency as well, I remember that he was on my list and I went to talk to him. I said, oh, that's what you want to do. That's good. By the way, I have an agency whose owner sadly was dead then, was late. But I've been, overlooking stuff and all that. And I was thinking of actually wrapping the operation up by December. And I was talking to him, I think, in October. If it's something that you're interested in, you could just take over this business, assets and liabilities and all that. And that was good. So I had an office immediately from that conversation. But now where I'm headed also is that I needed to pay some money to the family of this, late guy. And this mentor on his own, without me asking, paid that money, pending when I'll be able to pay him back. Do you understand? So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes,
Yes.
it can combine both. But what is important is your open-mindedness and transparency on both sides, so you don't get things mixed up.
That's correct. Thank you so much. Sir, you are just nailing the points like this. Nailing. Thank you so much for those points. Very valid. Okay, so we're going to come to questions, but keep it coming. Mia's Extra, actually your question is very, very close to what I'm about to ask Mr. Adisa next, Bami. So who's basically, I just like yesterday, like I spoke about, everything has something in common, which is building relationship. However the case may be, what do you have that is valuable? So I was actually going to ask my next question, which is whose responsibility is it to check in? So this is me assuming that the mentor that you currently have, just like us, because I'm using us as a benchmark. You rightly said that there's some mentors who, you don't have a relationship with, you're just following them, virtually or whatnot. But I'm talking about someone who you can see, who you can speak to, who you can meet with, Whose responsibility is it? Is it a mentor or a mentee, or is it the both of them?
I think to a large degree, it's both of them. But generally speaking, it's both of them. I should be interested in your progress, as your mentor. But I think a whole lot more will come from you, the mentee.
That's right.
Especially if you're starting a business, ask all the questions.
Yes, be inquisitive.
You need somebody to give you courage to say, hey, this is for real. This is bound to succeed. Ask as many questions as you can. And if it's a true mentor, he will never feel like you're bugging him or her. So I think it weighs more on your side, but it's also in the interest of the relationship that the mentor also seeks out to know how you're doing, to know what's going on, but not to also overdo it so you don't get in the way. I think one thing that should be clear to everybody is that it is your show, right? And we're here to ensure that you succeed, but it's your
succeed. Show. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. So to my next question, how would you say a mentee-mentor relationship can be a win-win? Just like Mia's Extract rightly asked also, how does the mentor benefit from the mentee, or is it 100% charity? Charity work? It's not charity work. Well, I would also add to your point.
Okay. So I don't think it's charity
work. Go ahead.
I don't think in terms of what's in it for you, the mentor, that it must necessarily be something material, right? One thing we should not forget also is that in this relationship, just like any relationship, a teacher-learner scenario doesn't necessarily mean that the teacher is the sole repository of knowledge. The teacher is also learning along the way. The teacher is also going out of his way or her way to learn more about the subject. And in reaching out to the student or the learner, the teacher is also gaining new insights about what's going on. So in the first place, for you to be a mentor, you must know that you're giving something. You're giving what you know. Knowledge that is not shared is not valuable enough as far as I'm concerned, because you can't pass it on to
That's correct. I agree.
You can't pass it on to other people, and you can't enrich that knowledge. You can't enrich your experience, because whatever worked in your own time may not necessarily work in this particular time. But in coming together, you are able to adapt that to the reality of today, and you learn in the process as well, and you both gain. So I will not put it down to gaining materially, but there's nothing wrong in this relationship leading to material gains as well. You might just in the process be able to go into some kind of collaboration on some venture that you never thought about, right? Because of that relationship. But the aim should not be that what's in it for me as a mentor, right? If anybody needs to think about what's in it for me, it should be the mentee. The mentor gives his or her time. It's not charity, but it's you, paying it forward, not charity.
I love that. It is you paying it forward. You know, now from my own perspective as the mentee, it's also as you build a relationship, the first thing, another thing you can also do as a mentee is also be resourceful to that mentor. You know, but how can you be resourceful? You can only be resourceful when you know what you have. It's not, you know, it's, yes, the mentor has the knowledge. You have the mentor to guide you. However, you don't also lack in knowledge. You
Yep.
also don't lack. Ah, so anyone wants to join the conversation. Okay, so like I was saying, it's also you understanding, getting to even know what that mentor also does, and
Yep.
also knowing what you have that you can give as value back to the mentor. I believe that that's what makes it grow beyond you just wanting to grow as a person. You being invested in the mentor's growth is also very, very important and valuable.
Sure.
So
I mean, what you,
takes me
just
to
to
my
support
next.
that, I mean, what
Yes,
you
sir.
bring
Go
to the
ahead.
table,
Yes.
what you bring to the table matters a whole lot. Like I said, it is your show. If I were to use you as an example, we started out from this young lady who is making very interesting notebooks and stuff with Nigerian fabric. I was like, wow, that's quite good. But you could have also left it there. I said, oh, I'm making some money from doing this, so why should I worry? But when you came with the idea of, I want to go on a platform that will also bring on other, budding entrepreneurs, startups and stuff, and I create a platform for them. Wow, that was your idea. So our job is to say, okay, how do you achieve this and make it a successful venture? So that is one point I can use to support that. Yeah.
Yes, amazing. That's so correct. Okay, so to my next question, how would you say that mentees can get more values from mentors for their business growth? I know you've kind of touched individually, but if you can just put this in perspective, especially as this also touches to the topic, the pain point, because a lot of audience that we have here are micro small businesses, so they're looking, some people even before because some people already have a perception that mentors don't help, mentors don't want to support, all of that. They already have that notion. So I guess if they can hear from your mouth to know how they can leverage on that relationship, that will help a lot.
Okay, I think, like I said earlier, I think it's important that at the beginning that you establish the kind of relationship that you also want, with this mentor, as it were. Your aim is to, leverage their experience, leverage their network as well, and their goodwill, so to say, to enable you achieve your own objective. And I don't think any good mentor would deny you all of that. So it requires of them that they create time for you. So in some relationships, you actually book time with one another to say, we have some conversation over tea, over coffee, or what have you. And in this, scenario that we are all resorting to online means of communication. I mean, that's also that's also game. You can do that, and the intention is for you to be able to keep them abreast of what you're doing. And there will be things that you've discussed. They need to hear from you. What's your report on it? What have you done? It's not saying report as in come and give me financial report of this and that. No, depends on the person you're dealing with. You can have different mentors, like I said earlier. Some mentors are financial gurus, and they can guide you in terms of how do you maintain your book, what do you do. They may have goodwill with people in the financial world, and so they're not necessarily giving you money, but they're giving you tips that can help you achieve your objective. So it is up to you in terms of how you want to relate with that person. We are all made differently. Some people are very formal in nature. You probably need to just book appointments. Some you can bargain on them. You can call them anytime. Some you can say, I have this brainwave and stuff like that. So you need to understand who you're dealing with as well. And in understanding them, you know how to, make the most of that relationship.
Of the relationship.
But it is your job to extract as much as you can to achieve your objective, and be willing and ready to take, any kind of criticism, that may come in the course of that, any kind of feedback. More feedback. You need to be able to take the feedback, in good faith and act on it, and make things work for yourself.
That's correct. That is so correct. Thank you so much, sir. I hope you're all enjoying this session. If you have questions, keep dropping your questions and we will get to it shortly, okay? I still have more questions for you, sir.
Okay.
I hope you don't need water. Yeah, okay. Your
I'm
throat is
fasting.
fine.
So don't worry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
Forgive
okay.
me.
It's all right. No
That's
problem.
correct. Okay, so to my next question, right? What would you say are the best characteristics of a mentee and a mentor? You know, I even have some. So I read this book years ago, and it is called "Who is in Your Personal Boardroom." Who is in your personal boardroom?
Yep.
And this book, it was so amazing. So I have so many things here. Let me just say some of the things, especially as you are to me, the kind of characteristics that I know that you have. So you're not just a mentor, you're an expert, right?
Okay.
You are a navigator. You always navigate me in the right direction when I'm confused. You know, you're a challenger. You always challenge my ideas. You know, you always ask questions. It's not just about the mentee asking questions, also the mentor asking questions, right?
Yep.
About what exactly you're trying to do. What are you trying to accomplish with what you do? You ask strategic questions, you know. So what would you say are some of your characteristics of a mentor and a mentee?
I think the essence of having a mentor, and one very important characteristic for me would be, so this is somebody who can look in the eye and say, I don't think that thing is going to work the way it is now. I think it should be, and people can get so emotional about their ideas. So you need somebody who comes across as being very objective, remains the same.
Their baby. An idea is like a baby.
Yeah, it's your baby. You don't want it to, it must be like this or like that. No. But you know the way it is. I mean, fortunately, you're nursing a baby.
Let's be
You
flexible.
go to a pediatrician and you
That's
say,
right.
oh, my baby was hot overnight and all that, and you're all over the place. The pediatrician is going to hold your baby like that and say, okay, nothing is wrong. And you feel like, it's the same thing with ideas. But
That's
somebody
true.
needs to look at it dispassionately and based on experience, his experience, other people's experience, and tell you, what he or she thinks that, is working and may not be working and that you need to fix. And you must, on your part as a mentee, be open-minded enough and accommodating enough to say, yes, I see where you're coming from. And from that point of view, you are able to improve on your idea. And if you have to dump it, that idea perhaps gives birth to something that is better. I think that is very important. It's not what to sit down and say, let us, agree in terms of engagement. No, but it's something that will come naturally from the way you interact with one another, to see that there is need for you to know, I'm in this, we're in this for this particular party to succeed. And it's only when you succeed that I can also say I've succeeded as regards my role as your mentor. So that is very important. Among other things, objectivity is very important. Transparency, more than anything else, so I can always back you. The mentee must not always keep quiet. The mentee must be inquisitive. You must be hungry to succeed. And it is what that particular trait in you is what's going to also inspire the mentor. Like I was telling you, we had never met before, but look at this young lady. You were just finishing NYC or something, and you were so passionate about, this, and it was very ingenious. It was really good. And it was just that one little thing that led to something bigger. Now, when you see people like that, they also inspire you, to go out of your way. Truth be told, that's what I always tell, even in the agency where I work, that look, I don't come to any brief with a ready-made answer. It's only when we put heads together, I know your thoughts. You must come with an idea. You don't come to your mentor expecting him or her to feed you. No, it's not about spoon feeding. What are you bringing to the table? So you must be resourceful. You must be resourceful as a person. It is that resourcefulness that will be given a boost by your mentor, and then it becomes better. Yeah.
Amazing. I wish you could see my book. The points that I have here, you've covered all the points. Be transparent, be open-minded, be flexible, be inquisitive. The mentor is already has accepted to be your mentor. So be inquisitive, ask questions. Don't ever feel like you're disturbing the mentor. You know,
No.
like I'll take you for example. Bami would always pick up my phone. You know what, Bami? I cannot remember when you've ever picked up, like I've ever called and you've not picked up. Even when you're busy, you say, Buki, please just give me a few minutes, I'll call you back. And you always call back. You know, and that's because you know that when I call you, I'm not calling you for random chats. I'm calling you for
Sure.
something serious, even
Sure.
when it's not serious. So amazing. Thank you so much for those points. Okay.
Good.
So this takes me to the next point. I know you once mentioned that you had a mentor, right? So I want
Yeah.
you to use an example of your mentor. Let us know here now. Do you have a mentor who has really, tell us, like, give us an example of what a mentor has done in your business growth? And then I don't mind, you can compare it to our own relationship. Let them know, ginger them, let them know the back end of what you have been doing for Bellafricana.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, there are different kinds of people in my life that I've crossed paths with, and they've, played certain roles and still play some roles in my life. It's a continuous process. One of them, eventually became the chairman of our company. But I remember that when I started, when I had even before I started the agency, we had been friends. We had been friends way back, about the time I started my career, like 91 or so. And we've maintained that relationship. Again, that's another thing. Consistency. You need to stay consistent.
That's right.
Your set of values must align with the set of values of who is mentoring you to a large degree.
Oh my God,
Otherwise,
that's so true.
there'll be dissonance, in what you're doing. So we've stayed together. We've gone through all sorts of things together. So and I was never, hesitant to let him in on my career. In terms of how I moved from agency A to B or whatever. And when it came to the idea of, I'm going to start an agency, he gladly, encouraged me to do so, without even knowing that I'm going to contact him to say, be my chairman. And that's the way it has gone, as we speak. So that is one person. And I have other people. Like I said, there was another mentor that I and sometimes, how you meet people matters. I mean, for someone like me, I don't make as many friends as my wife, for instance. You know better. I mean, by my nature, I take my time, I study people and all of that. My wife meets people today and you become friends. I'm different. I'm more introspective and all of that. But that notwithstanding, so when I meet people and I make friends with them, it goes on for a long time. I value it a whole lot more. So one of such people I also met, just like you met me through my wife, I met this person also through the wife, I met through my wife who met his wife. You understand? So from there, we became family. That also comes in sometimes. And it's not saying that all mentors must become family. No.
That's true. That's so true.
Some mentor-mentee relationship can become a family relationship. Some can be very professional, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So from meeting him, so I had always kept him abreast of my career development. So when it came to starting the business as well, he was one of those people I went to, and he gave me a couple of thoughts and things I could do. And even when we started, he never left me. He was always asking, how are you doing? Back to your question of who calls, who goes to each other. He's always asking how you're doing. He's had, it's hard to help out sometimes in sorting out some systemic problems, for someone just coming into entrepreneurship and stuff like that. And I think at the point when he thought, hey, this guy can fly, so we took more of a backseat, and we still interact, we still talk, but it doesn't have to do a whole lot more as he used to do before. It's now left to me. So these are the things so it will evolve also, and it's good to do that, so you don't also end up sucking up, whatever is in the entire relationship. So you also give back in the way, so to say. So like I said, I have different, and there are people in my industry who are in different parts of the world, that in one way or the other, through their work, through the things they do, I follow them and they inspire me more than anything else. So there's a whole lot of that going on, and there are younger people who are doing other things that one way or the other we chat and we get to know what's going on, and you learn from them as well. So I have a lot of people who play the role of mentor, but one or two of them are probably more critical in terms of how I've developed as a business. The other thing I did was when I was going to start my business, I also made it a duty to go back to some of my old bosses. And that is one source of mentoring that people ignore. Mentoring that comes from work experience. Wherever you are working now or where you have worked before, somebody somewhere there must have inspired something in you. He's a mentor.
Yes.
You may not acknowledge it in that respect. So I made it a duty that I go back to some of those gentlemen that I work with because they have run businesses and they're still running business. They've experienced things. And I told them, hey, I'm about to do so, so, and so, you know, and they advised me and they still do. And, you know, I'm not afraid to talk about that in public. I mean, one of such, you know, Dr. Biodun Shobanjo of Troika. I used to work for Troika. I was at MCNA for 4 years. I was at Insight for 6 years, making 10 years of my career at Troika. That is too invaluable a time in my life for me not to take it serious. So when I went to him and I told him, and every now and then, once in a while, I might just pop in to say, hello, sir, and we talk a little bit. He talks about my some of the things my agency is doing and stuff like that. Once in a while also, you know, I may write him a formal letter on something like when he got the honorary degree at the OAU and he wrote back and, you know, that he's proud of what you're doing. Those things are very important in terms of how you develop. So you're never too big, you know, at any point in your life to have mentors.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that. There was something that you said about even going back to your former employers, and they are also potential mentors. I remember when I was in London and I used to work at McDonald's. Do you know the amazing thing? When I moved back to Nigeria and I started my business in Bellafricana, based on the relationship that I had built, I am that kind of person too. I'm sure you know, who builds relationship and holds it valuable. So nothing can ever move me away from, as long as it was a mutual relationship. My boss then, John Louisi, he was the franchisee of the McDonald's at that time, and he was always checking on me back then. So when I moved to Nigeria and I started this business, I remember one of the first things I did was send him an email and say, okay, hi John, I understand that you don't know the Nigerian market, but this is what I'm trying to do. Do you have any advice? You know, he was someone, I knew that he was such a business, he had an entrepreneurial mindset, because how can you be a franchisee to over 6 McDonald's at the time? He bought off 6 McDonald's at the time when I was working. So that was one of the things that I did, send him emails back and forth, you know, and that's one of the amazing tips. Beautiful. Thank you so much, sir. So someone asked a question. We're going to come to questions very soon. Please keep leaving your questions and we'll touch on it. We're just going to be rounding up in the questions. I just have 2 more questions for Bami, Mr. Adisa, as you all know him, but I call him Bami, meaning my daddy. So I know you've touched on quite a number of things. There are a few questions that people usually ask when they're about to reach out to a mentor. Does that mentor have to be doing the same thing in lines of what I am doing? You know, how do I, first of all, you don't have to approach a mentor in a formal scene, or you can approach a mentor in a formal scene and an informal scene. You know, some people can have questions in the sense of, how do I even approach? I've had mentors who I have met at gatherings and they've been, and I just thought, oh, this person has this skill, this skill, this skill. I want to be able to be exposed to such skill. And I will send an email, like another mentor of mine, Prince Adeyemi Adefulu. I know you've been opportune to meet him quite a number of times. I sent him an email and I said, sir, this is what I do. I would love for you to be my mentor. The honest truth is that a lot of people, like you said, would love to pay it forward. So they're always happy, you know, especially if you come across as someone that is very serious and driven. So what would you say for someone who's saying, okay, I'm running this business. For instance, I'm an interior designer. Do I have to look for a mentor who has experience in interior designing, or how do I break that chain down to pick the right mentors?
Well, like I said earlier, you don't necessarily need only one mentor. In your quest for mentorship, I think it will make sense to find somebody who's been doing what you want to do, because they will come with some experience that you will really, find useful. So I will counsel that whatever field you want to go into, apart from reading up about it and talking to people, find somebody who is doing it who can show you what to do. And, you know, they are not necessarily all meant, I mean, because sometimes the label of mentor can be scary. But feel free to talk to people in that business. If I were to use the example of Labule, for instance, at the point of starting, we did a whole lot of, you know, questions and asking people in the business, people who are family friends who are running the same kind of thing, and people in informal sector. We went to almost all the major bookers, you know, in Lagos, Ibadan, and all that, just to see what they're doing, you know. So that way we could tell what we were going to improve on, how we will make our own offering a lot better. And people we could talk to who were in the business, we did talk to them. I think business generally is business, you know, whatever form it takes, whether you are into engineering business or fashion business. So there are certain principles in business that will always hold true, no matter where you find yourself. So you need people who understand how business works, right? And such people also can be very objective in guiding you, you know, as regards what you need to do. But the beauty and the need for people in that sector or industry is that they live it every day, right? If we were to bring somebody into advertising, for instance, to say, oh, come and be on my board or come and invest, if that person doesn't understand the nuances and the realities of advertising, and the person sees, oh, you are billing 500 million naira, while doing whatever and all that, he or she may not know that the 500 million naira is not your money in entirety.
Money, yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And that can lead to trouble. You know, like, oh, you're making all this money and what happened to it? So that comes from having somebody who understands the industry more than anything else. If the person is probably in the industry as we speak, or has been in that industry before now. So that experience is very, very important. But don't limit it to one person. Try and broaden your own network of mentors. Reason is that sometimes you want to seek second opinions from people, and it only comes from, you know, having more than one person to guide you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
She's
much
asking
for
a
that.
question which you don't understand.
Yeah, Oluwa. What's your question, please? I'm gathering our questions to give to you. Okay, so my last question. Whilst you can all please just prepare your questions. We have just about 13 more minutes to go. And so we've been here for about 47 minutes. Thank you all for joining in. For those that just joined in, just look up, the agenda is right there. Myself and my BAMI, who's my mentor, Mr. Lanre Adisa, have been discussing about how to leverage on mentorship for business growth. If you're just joining in, make sure to watch the replay because you have missed a lot. So my last question, Obami. You know, I was actually just going to get you to just touch on, you know, our relationship. Tell them how our mentorship, our mentee mentorship has been, because we have talked about everything talkable about how to leverage on mentorship for business growth. Like, you know, this series is basically towards our new launch, and I cannot wait to give you the gist about that one too, Abby. So if you can touch on that and also talk about Bellafricana, what you think Bellafricana is doing in this space, in the Nigerian space, in the African space, in the global space. There you go.
Good. Okay, so I think we've spoken a little bit about the beginning in terms of, as a matter of fact, what people should know is that the first person that came to Labule was Toby, you know, who tried effortlessly to meet with my wife, and eventually you came on the scene as well, and that's where it all started from. And the moment we met both of you, we were like, wow, okay, I mean, these are young people and they're very enterprising, and quite impressed, you know, with what we saw in you. Like I said earlier, when it came to evolving from just, you know, looking at these, you know, making merchandise, to now saying, hey, I just don't want to limit myself to making merchandise. I want to be a platform that will also get people who are just coming into business to have an easier access, you know, to their audiences. That was quite good, because for me also, because of my background, I'm into brand building, and I love to see things grow. And that to me was the biggest motivation, to see that, hey, you know, here you are, you know, you're actually encouraging people to get stuff going. And way back then, nobody saw this as something that will become so useful today. That Nigerians will tend towards more of being on their own, running side businesses or facing the business squarely and doing stuff like that. I thought that was really, really good. The other thing for me that excited me about the relationship is that, sometimes we make up rules and sometimes we see those rules broken. One of the rules I had was, even though you have experienced, so you may not necessarily fall in squarely into that because you have past work experience. Because I always tell people something, that you need to have some working experience. You must have been somewhere before. You must have subjected yourself to an environment where you will be faced with the intrigues of an office politics and other things, where you have to thrive and succeed despite all those challenges. And those are the things that come in handy to help you go through running your own business, whether you like it or not. And I'm glad, you referred back to your McDonald's experience. But I was taken by the fact that you just got back, you just served, and you didn't waste too much time looking for anything somewhere else. You just got into this, and you were quite successful at that as well. And the partnership between you and Toby, even before you got married, that there was something symbiotic about what both of you brought to the table. So behind the scene for me and my wife is like, wow, look at these young people, quite enterprising, quite industrious. So the reason why whatever it is that involves you, we are ready to do that. And I remember very well when we opened our Lekki outlet, and we were there. You were talking about, okay, yeah, I have Bellafricana online. Can I have a store offline? And we all we got the space here. Why can't you use the space? It was experimental, so to say.
Yes, it was.
For the time that it worked, so it didn't really fly like the way we wanted it to. But that's the kind of thing that happens with mentor-mentee relationship, that you are ready to throw in everything to make it work. And to me, that is the beautiful thing about our relationship going forward. So any idea, as a person, I welcome ideas. I deal in ideas. Without ideas, there's no agency for me, for starters.
Yes,
so
that's
any new
right.
idea tickles me, and if the idea can lead to something that we can touch, that can become, meaningful in people's lives, why not? I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's just like a wise man once said, ideas rule the world. And that's super important. Thank you so much. It's been, the relationship has been invaluable, and people out there should know that everything that we've spoken about so far today is so essential towards you leveraging on mentorship for your business growth. So if you have any questions, please do leave it with us. In other words, my BAM is basically saying, if you are a non-member here and you're listening in, and you're a creative business owner, you should definitely be a member of Bellafricana and watch out for what we're going to be launching on the 11th of May, on Monday. This platform is going to be mind-blowing, and we believe that we are entering another season of mentor-mentee relationship, because this one now is another level of challenge. It's another level of challenge I've put together.
Yeah. You have to keep watching out for the next big thing.
Exactly. But okay, if there have been questions earlier said, do we have questions? Okay. If you can just repost these questions. Mentors are not financial investors, at least. No, they are not. They're not. We spoke about earlier, we actually spoke about the difference between, mentors and sponsors. Is it necessary for mentors to give financial support to their mentees? No. Nope. It is not necessary at all. Because sometimes they feel you should all the time. No, not even anytime.
The problem with that also is that you may just lose the objectivity.
That's right.
Let your mentor be removed financially from the business, if you can manage it that way, so that whatever is coming from them, you can respect. They're not doing it or advising you in a way that will benefit them, right? So you need that. You need that neutrality for you to really, be good at what you're doing.
Yes. So to just add to that, I mean, a mentor can also serve as a navigator, someone who can navigate you to some. So say for instance, remember when we started ACE Awards,
Yeah.
an amazing platform where we celebrate creativity and innovation. I remember then it was on another scale entirely, and obviously sponsorship was very important for the growth of that event. So I had mentors such as yourself who was willing to navigate me to the right person in, say, like
Yeah.
a BOI,
Mm.
or say like a Nexim Bank. Sometimes your mentors could have, that contact that you want to get to.
Yep.
So they
Yep.
will navigate you to the right person, but they don't have to be the person that gives you the money.
No.
And it is up to them when they see your drive. It's up to the mentor to say, okay, oh, this is what I want to do. Or you package something valuable for that mentor. If your mentor is in the right position to support you at that event, never expect a mentor to support you financially.
No.
Because everything like you said earlier, mentors are invaluable.
Yep.
And that's super, super amazing. So I've had an amazing time. Do you have any questions for me? Do you want to throw one
Uh,
solid question at a mentee that I am?
I'm not sure I have any questions for now. I only keep
Beautiful.
saying, whatever it is you want to do, just go for it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so maybe we could because we're rounding up in the next 3 minutes. Maybe you could just give like some business advice to anybody that is listening in right now. Some of like the business principles that have really held you. I mean, Noah's Ark is how many years now?
Yes. 12.
Amazing. So a decade plus 2, 12 years is a long time. So what would you say are some of like the business principles that you stick with and some business advice for us listening in?
Okay. I mean, for me, one thing I believe is very important is you have to know why you are in it, first and foremost. If it's just to put food on the table, it may not be so. It's not a bad idea, but it may not be so sustainable because you will go through a whole lot of challenges, no matter the size of the business, big, small, whatever it is. But the only thing that will see you through is that starting point of why are we doing this. I like to ask the question most times when people want to go into any new venture. Does the world need another, you can fill in the gap,
Yes, I
another
remember
Mr.
that
Beast,
question.
another this, another that, meaning that it's not saying you cannot go into that category, but if you have to go in there, how will you be different? What value are you bringing to the table? Are you looking for your own, blue water, space, so to say, as opposed to the red water of sharks and competitors? So I believe that anybody who wants to go into this must have that in you. You must have an idea that you are passionate about, you know about it. Even if you did not train, so to say, but you are passionate about it enough and you can inspire, a team to follow you into battle, so to say. But you are there, you have skin in the game because when things go rough, that's all you will have.
Yeah.
I've had different experiences that were big enough for us to just say, pack it up and go do something else. But this is the nature of business. As we speak, we're going through one of such moments today. Businesses are
Yes.
being tried, especially small businesses. If businesses are being
Yes.
tested by where we are now. And the only way that you can keep going is that you have to go back within yourself to say, I know why I'm doing this. I know there's a bigger picture somewhere, there's a bigger goal somewhere, and I will keep doing that, whatever it takes for me to achieve that. It's very important to have that self-belief, in business. And of course, be realistic. If you need help, reach out for help. Find people around you. Talk. And like we said, all help is not always financial. Sometimes people tell you things
That's
that
right.
hurt benefits.
Join community
And
platforms like
yes,
Bellafricana, your
one
support.
last thing, very important, is goodwill. Ensure that your bank of
Goodwill.
goodwill is always very rich. It's always full
Very rich.
because you will need people someday. When you don't expect them to have issues. So that's it.
Yeah. Amazing. You always say that goodwill. So we're going to just wrap up with that last word. Sir, you are a bucket full. I just as I should just borrow you small. Let them just hear what I enjoy in the back end. I am honored that you're
My
my mentor,
pleasure.
and I
Thank you
am
very much.
so thankful for
Good.
all the years of investing in me and pushing me and nudging me forward. Thank you so much for
Great
taking
pleasure.
time out with me today, and thank you so much for everyone that tuned in. Priye, Ajibola, I see you, Mia's Extra. Please come and be my mentor. No, there's no application right now, but we'll talk about it. We'll see.
Okay.
So
Lovely.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everybody. As we
Thank
round
you.
up now, thank you for
Bye-bye.
taking time out with us.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye, bye, everybody. So thank you all so much. You can catch up and watch the replay. Okay, it will be there for the